Good evening. I'm Amy. Tonight's live around five reasons you should make time for lifelong friends. I'm coming to you later than five, which is part of why this is always called live around five. Life happens, but it's mainly because I was just up in DC dropping off my dear friend Lisa so she could fly back to Alaska, Portland, and all the areas she lives on the West Coast. She visited for a week, and it reminded me of how incredibly important our lifelong friends are. If you have a lifelong friend, I want you to think about them now. And maybe this is someone from high school, maybe this is someone from college, but it's someone who's known you a really long time. And I'm here to enforce the idea that they are a treasure. They're really important to your resilience for a lot of reasons, but there's five good reasons why you should invest the time, money, and energy in making sure you connect and reconnect with them. And not just through a phone call, although that's a great place to start. I'm talking about actually visiting with each other, vacationing with each other. And I recognize it's a privilege to be able to do that, but you should take advantage if you do have that privilege for these five reasons. The first is that they know everything about you and they love you anyway. That's incredibly precious. Someone who's known you that long really does know you, and they know, that wild or horrible or crazy or nerdy person you were in high school or college, and they know you today and they love you exactly the way that you are. They get it. The second reason is because they remind us of who we are and what we've been through and what we've accomplished. A lot of the times, I need someone to say, "Oh my gosh, do you not remember? You've done this, you've done that, you've done this. You're an incredible writer. You're a great public speaker. You're an influential leader. You're an author." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." Especially when you're feeling bad about yourself or you're doubting yourself and you're kind of forgetting, like, I know who I am. This also works for the flip side of they know who you are, right? Like, you tend to chase your tail and not make decisions quickly. You want to have all the data. And the fact is, you can't have all the data this time, Amy. You're just going to have to make a decision. So they know who you are in your best and worst ways and remind you of who you are when you're kind of getting in your own way, whether it's through doubt or whether you're kind of making the same mistake over and over. The third reason is because they know how to support us. They know how to make us laugh. They know how to sit with us when we cry because they've already done it over the years, right? If you've been a good friend with someone for that period of time, you've suffered loss, you've suffered, terrible things happening to you around you, and you've also had incredible victories. One of the things that's really cool about Lisa is that she and I went to graduate school together. So we were able to kind of remind each other of what we did to get through that time. We both had young kids at the same time. So we were in graduate school with young kids. That's part of how we came so close, is that there was a great network of moms, and I'm still friends with a lot of them. Hi, Tamara, that are out there. Hi, Stephanie, people who I absolutely love and work to stay in touch with, even through social media today. The next thing is that they understand our losses and our wins better than anyone else. So there's nothing better than calling one of your cheerleaders or one of your closest friends and giving them news of a wonderful victory that you've had, right? One of my goals in the last couple of years was to build a six-figure business. And when I reached that mark, there were only a few people that I either felt comfortable telling about that or felt excited to tell because they knew how hard I was working on it, how hard we were working on it. And they got the years that went into that and continue to go into that. So they can celebrate like none other. When I recently lost an opportunity that I thought I was going to have that was really going to be life changing, they were there for me then too, right? She was there for me going, that hurts. You thought that was going to be a really big thing in your life and it didn't work out. But guess what? And then she came in, right, with the cheerleading. You've been here before. You've experienced loss before. You always come back. You know how to handle this. If you lost it, it wasn't meant for you, right? Stop beating yourself up. Start seeing the silver lining. So that sort of person that knows you that well to be proud of you when you win and to be standing beside you when you lose is pretty amazing. And last but not least, they'll tell us the truth, even when we don't want to hear it, right? I remember when I was going through my divorce, and it was just a really difficult time, as any relationship ending is. and I was struggling a lot. And she was a wonderful friend in calling me out on my own stuff during that time. And I appreciated that because I needed that. We need almost like bumpers on a bowling lane, right? Someone who knows us and loves us enough to say, that's, you're lying to yourself. That's BS. You're not being honest. You got to get down there and do the work. You've got to figure this out. Or you're doing that thing again that you do. You got to stop it. And when friendships survive that sort of longevity, that sort of truth telling, you know that's a friend for life. And that's when we've got to double down and make sure that we're investing the time, the resources, the energy, the mental space, the money that it takes to stay connected. Because part of being resilient is having that sort of person in your life. And my guess is there's only 2 or 3 people like that for each of us, or maybe even one, which would make that connection even more valuable and even more important to maintain. So, when I asked you if you had a lifelong friend, if that friend's name came to your mind immediately, I want you to give them a call or a text or an email or however you interact with them and just check in on them. Tell them you're thinking about them because tonight my friend flew home and I miss her terribly. We're texting even as she's on the plane. Thank you, technology. I love you so much. But it's not the same as being eyeball to eyeball, sharing a coffee at Shenandoah Joe's, meeting our new friends, Janet and Allison, having a good time together, but also commiserating and working through some big life decisions together. So make sure you've got somebody like that. Become a part of a community where people are willing to carry water for you like that, right? That's part of what the resilient and successful families is about and the resilient, successful lifestyle. It's not about always rainbows and unicorns. It's about having people around you who will really lift you up, tell you the truth, be there when you're low, and stand beside you no matter what. And they see you and they love you. I see you and I love you. You're here, you're working on yourself, you're out in the world, you're doing the best that you can. And I want you to give yourself credit for that right now. If you're working every day to become a little bit better, then you've already unlocked the code to everything you need. You've just got to let yourself move to that next level. I want you to be the most resilient you can be because you've certainly had struggles in the past, but we're all going to have struggles in the future. And we need to have someone, not a parent, not a spouse, not a sibling, but someone that we can reach out to who doesn't care about any of that kind of complicated relationship that goes with all of those words I just used: spouse, parent, sibling, but who's just there for us. So I hope you have someone like that. And if you don't, start developing someone like that and know that it's going to make a really big difference in your life as it has in mine. I love you, Lisa, and I already miss you. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 5 around 5.